Dear students, in continuation of waves, we will discuss the last topic called beats. Beats is a peculiar property. What does it say? Suppose you have sound, you add some other sound, then you should get a bigger sound. But there is also a probability when you add two sounds, there is no sound also. In the same way, even in light also, if you add a light to another light, the intensities must add, but there is a probability that there is no light. That means you have darkness. Why that is happening? The possibility of no light or the possibility of no sound is due to a property called interference. This we study in detail in optics. Interference means mixing of two waves. When you mix two waves, the resultant amplitude or the resultant intensity of the two waves alternately changes from maximum to minimum. That means you will get maximum at this place, next to this you will get minimum, next to this you will get maximum. The periodic variation of the resultant intensity is called interference. Now, when two sound waves, when they interfere, you will get beats. The mixing of two sound waves, we have two types of mixing. One we studied in standing waves. In standing waves, we took two progressive waves, two identical progressive waves of same frequency traveling in opposite directions through the same space of the medium. So frequencies are same, equal. Whereas in beats, two sound waves of slightly different frequencies. This is one going in this direction. Another is also going in the same direction through the same space. I should draw this on this only. If the frequency of this one is N1 and the frequency of this one is N2, here the frequencies are equal, but here they are not equal. They are slightly different. What does it mean? The difference in the frequencies is less than or equal to 10. When two sound waves of slightly different frequencies traveling in the same direction through the same space, they interfere. That means they superimpose, resulting the maxima and minima of the intensity, resulting in the maxima and minima of the intensity after a regular time period. That means there is a time interval between a maxima and a minima. The periodic variation of resultant amplitude or intensity is studied in this phenomenon. One maxima and one minima combinedly called as one beat. One maxima and one minima combinedly called as one beat. Now, so this is about beats. So what is happening? Now I will draw one more diagram. Suppose there are four waves, 1, 2, 3, 4. I will take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. So its frequency is 4 and its frequency is 5. Initially they are in same phase. You see at some place they will be out of phase. I will draw once again. One, two, three, four, 5. So initially they are in the same phase, you will get maximum. At some place, see this. So this is one crest and this is one trough. So whenever a crest and a trough or a trough and crest superimpose on each other, the amplitude becomes 0. Whenever amplitude is 0, the intensity is 0 because intensity is directly proportional to the square of the amplitude. That you should remember. So what is happening? Here two crests are superimposing on each other. At this place you will get maximum. At this place, you will get one minimum. So next maxima you will be getting somewhere here. Now, the number of beats heard per second is given by the difference of two frequencies. The number of beats heard per second is given by the difference of two frequencies. Here it is 4, here it is 5, so the difference is 1. Take the first wave, y1 is equal to a sine omega 1t. I should actually take kx. I am taking x is equal to 0, then this becomes 0. The first wave is y1 is equal to a sine omega 1t, where omega 1 is the angular frequency. Omega 1 can be written as 2 pi n1. n1 is the frequency. The second wave, which is also traveling in the same direction, I can write a sine omega 2t. In the same way, omega 2 is equal to 2 pi n2. Omegas are angular frequencies, n's are ordinary frequencies. Now, by using principle of superposition, I can write y is equal to y1 plus y2. So, I can take a common. This is sine omega 1t plus sine omega 2t. We have a formula in trigonometry that says sin c plus sin d, which is equal to 2 sin c plus d by 2 into cos c minus d by 2. This is the formula. I make use of that formula here. So, I will get 2, so it becomes 2a. What is the amplitude? Right. Next, this is sin c plus d by 2. So, I can write this as omega 1 plus omega 2 by 2 into t. Next one, cos c minus d. So, I can write omega 1 minus omega 2 by 2 into t. So, this is the formula. This represents the resultant wave of the two waves. Now, I can write this as 2a cos omega 1 minus omega 2 by 2 into t. This is into sine of omega 1 plus omega 2 by 2 into t. This is resembling the amplitude. So, this is the new amplitude factor. Now, in this amplitude you have time also. That means the amplitude is changing with time. The amplitude is also changing with time. So, if I draw a diagram, if I show the diagram of the waves, it looks like this. Suppose this is one wave. Another wave is this one. The frequencies are slightly differing. The resultant of this one will look like this. So, this is the amplitude and the wave part is this one. So, what does it mean? On mixing of these two waves, the resultant amplitude is varying. Here it is maximum, then it is becoming 0, here it is minimum, then here it is maximum. So, what is happening at maximum? Either two crests or two troughs. Actually speaking, two compressions or two rarefactions, because sound in air is a longitudinal wave. But drawing a transverse wave diagram is so easier when compared with a longitudinal wave. Though I am drawing transverse waves, you have to treat them as longitudinal waves. So, when two crests are mixing at the same place, for example, its magnitude is, its amplitude is A and its amplitude is A. So, they will meet, they are in the same phase, so they add up. So, this becomes 2A. Suppose you have a crest at one place, trough at the same place. So, this is plus A, this is minus A. For a wave, we took this as plus A and this as minus A. So, here it becomes 0. So, whenever you get a maximum, there a constructive interference occurs. What do you mean by constructive interference? So these two are added up in the same direction. The resultant is more, that is 2a. This is called constructive interference. The waves are interfering such that the resultant is maximum. And this is called destructive interference, 1 plus and 1 minus. Resultant is 0. If I take the amplitudes different, suppose if I take A1 and A2, at the maximum, I will get I is equal to some A1 plus A2 whole square. I will be having some constant. At minimum, this is for maximum. At minimum, if the amplitudes are not equal, the minimum intensity will be some constant time into A1 minus A2 whole square. Here you have destructive interference, here you have constructive interference. Whenever the two amplitudes are added up, whenever you get maximum, that is called waxing. Another word for maximum is waxing. And the place where you are getting minimum is called waning. Waxing and waning of the resultant intensity. That phenomenon is called beats. Now, this indicates amplitude, new amplitude. So I can write this as the amplitude, and this is the remaining wave part. So this part is a cos wave. So if this is the resultant, so cos wave starts here like this and goes like this. So this is the amplitude part. Right. So it will have maximum value plus 1 and minimum value minus 1. So I can draw like this. So this indicates the amplitude part, and at x is equal to 0 and t is equal to 0. So at x is equal to 0 and t is equal to 0, you should get maximum. So the remaining wave part is indicated by like this. So the dotted lines indicate the amplitude of the vibrating particle, which is at x is equal to 0 when time is equal to 0. I am taking a particle which is at x is equal to 0 at the initial time, that is time is equal to 0. That is the reason why we took only omega 1 t and this is omega 2 t. So this part indicates maximum and this part indicates minimum. Now what is the time interval between two maxima or the time interval between two minima, that we have to see. So time interval can be written as 1 by frequency interval. So frequency interval is equal to 1 by time interval. So this frequency interval is called beat frequency. That we will derive. I think it is clear. Now I make use of this resultant wave equation, that is y is equal to y1 plus y2, that came as y is equal to 2a cos omega 1 minus omega 2 by 2 into t sin of omega 1 plus omega 2 by 2 into t. You see, here the frequency is more and here the frequency is less. That is the reason why amplitude wave has got less frequency. For example, if I take omega 1 is equal to 100 and omega 2 is equal to, let us say, 90. So the difference of these two, 10 by 2. So the frequency of the amplitude wave is only 5. Now the frequency of this wave, that is this part, see 100 plus 90, 190 by 2. So you should get 95. Its frequency is more. That is the reason why here the waves are crowded. Waves are crowded in the packets. And the packets are lesser in number. These packets indicate the amplitude of the resultant of the two waves, right, which are interfering to produce beats. Now, the amplitude is nothing but a cos of something. This is amplitude. So cos theta can have maximum value plus or minus 1. So whenever you get the maximum, so this is 2a. Now cos theta, when you get 2a, when a plus a, you will get 2a. This is for the maximum, right. cos theta can take maximum values either plus 1 or minus 1. So what can I write? I can write cos omega 1 minus omega 2 by 2 into t must be equal to k pi. It can take 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. So I can write omega is equal to 2 pi n. So omega 1 is equal to 2 pi n1, omega 2 is equal to 2 pi n2. Substitute. So you will get cos, I can take 2 pi common, by 2, I can write n1 minus n2. Can I write? Yes, I can write. 2 gets cancelled. Sorry. So cos theta is equal to plus or minus 1 means the theta value must be equal to k pi. So you will get 2 pi by 2. So pi. So this is equal to k pi. So pi gets cancelled. So the time interval, I will get the expression for time t is equal to k by n1 minus n2. This is the expression for time. Now we will try to find out the time interval between two successive maxima or two successive minima. That we will do now. Right. So k can take 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. So when k is equal to 0, t is equal to 0. You will get first maxima. That's what I wrote. So here t is equal to 0. Here either two crests or two troughs are interfering with each other. When k is equal to 1, substitute k is equal to 1, you will get t is equal to 1 by n1 minus n2. You will get second maximum. Next, when you have k is equal to 2, you have to take t is equal to 2 by n1 minus n2. So similarly, if I continue, I can write t is equal to some n by n1 minus n2. The time interval between two maxima, two successive maxima, let us take this and this. What is the time interval? Delta t is equal to 2 by n1 minus n2 minus 1 by n1 minus n2. Denominators are same. So you will get simply delta t is equal to 1 by n1 minus n2. Or simply you can write 1 by delta n. Or you can write delta n is equal to, that means n1 difference n2. Why n1 difference n2? If n2 is greater than n1, you have to write n2 minus n1. If n1 is greater than n2, you have to write n1 minus n2. Difference is important. Which one is bigger or which one is lesser, that doesn't matter. So delta n is equal to, I can write 1 by delta t. So this is called beat frequency. For an ordinary human ear, the number of beats heard per second, is 10 only. The maximum number of beats, this is the maximum possible value. Why it is 10 only for human ear? For other animals it can be other thing. Because we have a property called persistence of hearing. The property is analogous to persistence of vision. Right. What do you mean by persistence of hearing? For our human ear, the time interval that must be maintained between two sound waves. The time interval between two sound waves which are reaching our ear, so that I can differentiate those two sound notes clearly, is minimum value is 0.1 seconds. So if I want to hear two sounds clearly, if I want to distinguish them properly, the time interval must be minimum 0.1 seconds. This is the minimum value. When the time interval is minimum, the frequency is maximum. So you substitute, the minimum time interval is 1 by 0.1. You remove point, you will put 10. So you will get 10. The maximum number of beats that can be heard by an ordinary human ear is 10. Right. This is about beat frequency. Now, what are the uses of beats? What are the uses of beats? There are many uses. We will discuss few of them. So, beats are used in tuning the musical instruments before the start of a musical concert. The second use of beats phenomenon is we can detect poisonous gases that are evolved generally in mines. And third one is I can find the frequency of an unknown tuning fork. So this is a known, I know this. The frequency of this one is unknown. I vibrate them together. By vibrating them together, I'll get some beats, some number of beats. So based on those number of beats, I'll be in a position to find out the frequency of this unknown tuning fork. That is N2 can be determined. This is used in cinematography. Some different musical effects are produced by allowing beats between the different musical instruments. So it is used in cinemas to produce different sound effects. There is another amusing use of beats by penguins. Penguins live in Antarctica. They look alike. They are huddled. Huddled means there is a large group to save from coldness of the environment. So the penguins, though they look alike, they can find their friends by producing beats, by using its voice organ. So there are problems, you will find problems, and all the problems will be based on N1 difference N2. If you are able to solve based on this, you can solve any problem. Thank you.